Walking out to the peg here at the southeastern Victorian sheepdog trials in the novice final is Sean O'Leary with Elliot's Mumu. Sean's the last competitor in the final. He scored an 81 in the first round and would need at least an 86 to win the novice final. So he sent Mumu out on this near side and she's cast up pretty tight. She's just bumped the sheep a little early on the lift, but she seems to have bumped them straight down the course here at the Currumborough Showgrounds. So Sean's just sitting her down and settling her and the sheep to work together. We've seen a lot of the sheep today run off the dog. They're young sheep and some lambs there, so they're pretty reactive to the dogs here at Currumborough this year. But Mumu's stopped there, seems to just settle things down, and now Sean will take his time with Mumu to bring them down in a straight line back to the casting peg. Mumu's a young dog. This is the novice final, so a lot of young dogs in this novice competition. Mumu's 2.5 years old, bred out of McConnell's Oscar and Elliot's Monica, and she's been performing well so far. Sean and Mumu have only been trialling for 1 year. They debuted here at Currumborough in 2023. So we'll see how they go here today. And they're just taking their time heading down to the casting peg. This is where we've seen a lot of sheep run off back to the bottom corner where the takeoff yard is. So Sean will just be getting Mumu like he is now. It's just looking to cover this near side. And he'll just take his time as the sheep approach him at the casting peg. They do have a tendency to be a bit jumpy here as they come up to the handler, with the dog putting pressure on them. Sean's just wanting the Mumu to come in there and push them to his left hand side. And you can see Mumu just nudging up. She just stands up there for a moment and then sits down just to nudge them across, a little bit across to that far side so they can wind around, and it looks like they've wound around there and come back now. Mumu's just held them there at the balance point, again trying to avoid them running off that casting peg. Sean just looks like to be moving Mumu around there just to take a little bit of pressure off this near side and get Mumu in a position to push them back up the arena towards the gap. So it looks nice and settled so far. And they're coming around. They look to be a little bit wide around the casting peg. So Sean might just get Mumu to nudge them back into the laneway that leads up to the gap before he walks off. He looks like he's comfortable there where the sheep are and that Mumu's got them under control. So he's walking up to the gap here, and he's wanting to keep those sheep within 9 metres of him so that there's no points deducted for leaving the sheep behind. So you can see Mumu there just covering, putting a bit of pressure on and just covering this near side, just keeping the sheep between her and the handler, and then coming back to take the pressure off the head, and so they walk off. So it's just a little bump and cover. She's just sitting right there on the shoulder just so the sheep know where she is, and then Sean just pushing her back a little bit to allow the sheep to walk off her. Now coming behind them just to straighten them up and to nudge them up a bit closer to the handler. She's got nice cover there, and looks like she's being very patient here, Mumu. Just getting in the right position just to shift the sheep. She's watching their heads, and she's just turning them ever so slightly and just allowing them to walk at a nice pace, keeping them calm as they come up here to the gap. And the sheep look pretty relaxed. They're just popping their heads down, a couple of them popping their heads down, just having a nibble on the grass there, showing that they're nice and relaxed here at the moment with the dog. We'll see how they go here on the gap. Looks like Mumu's just being nice and patient there. Sean's just asking her to get into the right position. She will need to cover this near side if they push out and look to go around. So it looks like she's got that. You can see there she's just naturally comes around to the head. Very patient. Just trying to line them up with that gap. And they're through. That was nice work. And Mumu's just come around the back, just so they don't go off course. Just keeping them there in the line. Sean's comfortable with where they are to walk across to the race. And he's just bringing Mumu up just to push them on. Keep the sheep within 9 meters of him as they walk across from the gap to the race. You see Mumu's pretty quick across the ground there, so she can get from side to side pretty quickly as the sheep turn their head, just so they know that she's got them covered. And the best thing for them to do is just to move forward. The sheep still look pretty relaxed there, just popping their heads down, again nibbling on the grass, a little bump. But they didn't run off, they're still walking. This is a nice pace. Looks like Mumu's got everything under control here. They come up to the race, so they now have to get to the mouth of the race and turn 90 degrees from the laneway into the race, so they head down to the bridge. This is Currumborough. They're running, or Mumu's just got to get around cover. That's good. They've got the course set up in the Victorian Supreme configuration. So they've got the gap, race and bridge and the pen. And it's set out here in Currumborough, which is in southeastern Victoria. This Currumborough trial's been, this is the 69th year the Currumborough trial's been running, so it's a very long tradition in this town, and it gets a lot of support from the locals. You can see some of the spectators got their cars parked up on the hill on the back side. We're looking out from the grandstand as Mumu looks to have everything under control here. She needs to nudge them up to Sean a little bit there, just as we wait for the camera just to adjust back down there and just focus in on the action. And Mumu's just moving them along nicely. She's got a nice distance. She's got just enough distance to have control, and she can just make small movements just to nudge the sheep up, and they look like they're lined up. They are, and that's nicely straight up on the bridge. Sean's just taken the pressure off just to allow them to walk up. And they're 1, 2, 3 over, and Mumu's come around now to catch them. So again, Sean doesn't want them to go off course. He'll want to bring them back into the laneway between the bridge and the pen. And as they come across to the pen with the configuration of this course, they'll need to come to the front, the mouth of the pen, and then turn into the pen. So it's not a straight walk in from the bridge. The dog has to actually work them into the pen. So we'll see what's going to happen. It looks good so far. So Sean needs at least an 86 here to win. He's the last competitor in the novice final with Mumu. So they're coming across nicely, and Mumu's just, she's just got that cover on the back there, and she's fast across the ground. Sean's just sent her out wide there just to make sure that they stay on line. And you can see they're moving at a nice pace, just allowing the sheep to walk. A little run there. So Mumu's just come up to the head. Sean will walk up and get into the set point here for the pen. They look to be at a good distance from the mouth of the pen, and they'll just have to get to the front, and Mumu will just have to do her work to nudge them in. Again, they're nice and calm. A little run there. She wants to cover this near side. They can quickly sneak around this near side. You can see she's got her eye on them. She's just watching this one here, just wanting this one to turn its head in, and she's done that. Nice work, Mumu. And they've walked in nicely. Now need to settle them in the back of the pen. And Sean's just moved Mumu around so they go back of the pen, and he's comfortable with that. So he's walking in, and he's shut the gate. Well done. Well done there. A good score. 93 the score here for Mumu and Sean, and that means that they win the Novice Championship here at Currumborough. Well done.